Hi class, you have been doing a great job with literacy this week with learning our multi-letter phonograms. So we're going to keep learning more today, but we also are going to make sure we're reviewing the ones that we've already gone over so that they get stuck in our brains. All right, so we'll start with a little, it's not really like a quiz, but it lets you know if you know the phonogram or not. So I'll say the sounds, you'll write it. If you can't remember in about 5 seconds, just draw a line below the baseline. All right, the first phonogram is the of hurt. What are you going to write? Good, say it while you write it. All right, class, this is our the of hurt, except tell me what's missing from this card. Right, it doesn't have an underline, so make sure yours is underlined. And if you didn't get this, please pause the video, write it 3 times, saying it while you write it. All right, our next phonogram is the of worms. Say it while you write it. The of worms. Right, so if you don't remember it by now, there should be a line below the baseline, and then you'll write it 3 times after I show you. This is the of worms. Are all 3 letters underlined? You're right, it's just these last 2 because they're the one that says This just lets them say Good. So if you didn't have it, I want you to write it 3 times, saying it while you write it. All right, the next phonogram is R. Right, write it and say it while you write it. All right, class, this is R. Remember, we need both of these letters to make the sound R. So if you didn't have that, cross it out, write it 3 times beautifully, saying it while you write it. All right, our next phonogram is the O of boat. What are you going to write? Good. Say it while you write it. All right, this is our the O of boat. So if you didn't have this or you didn't remember, write this 3 times, saying its name while you write it. All right, our last phonogram is ow, o, uh. What are you going to write, class? Good. Ow, o, Say the sounds while you write it. All right, this is our ow, o, So if you didn't have this, write this in 3 times, leaving clock spaces and saying the sounds while you write it. Ow, o, All right, nice job, class. Now we are going to learn some new phonograms, or they're new to you if you just came to our school. But even if not, it's been a long time since we had in-person school, and you might not have reviewed these for a long time. All right, so this is our first one. We call this a 2-letter A that we do use at the end of English words. Class, what does this? Say it with me. A 2-letter A that we do use at the end of English words. All right, so to write my a 2-letter A that we do use at the end of English words, I write the first letter And then close but not touching, I write the second letter. And what do I do to show that they go together to make that sound? Good. I underline A2 letter A that we do use at the end of English words. All right, class, it's your turn. Write A2 letter A that we do use at the end of English words and say it while you write it. When you're finished, put your pencil down. All right, check and make sure yours looks like mine. And if it doesn't, fix it. If it does, go ahead and write it again, saying it while you write it. And then after you fixed it, write it again, saying it while you write it. All right, and one more time, write your A2 letter A that we do use at the end of English words and say it while you write it. All right, now the next phonogram we're going to learn goes with that one that we just learned because it has two letters just like the last one and it makes the same sound. So this is the first part of its name is the same. We say A because it still says A, and we say two letter A because how many letters are there? There are two, right? So this is A, two letter A that we do not use at the end of English words. Say that with me, class. A, two letter A that we do not use at the end of English words. All right, one more time, say it. Good, A, two letter A that we do not use at the end of English words. Class, why do we not use this at the end of English words? All right, those of you who were at our school before, I bet you said what we usually say. Those of you who might be new to our school, we're going to learn something exciting about English right now. So I know I've talked a little bit about how there's some rules and other things like that that help us know how to spell words correctly and how to use English well. Well, we're about to learn a rule, which is English words do not end with I. All right, class, say that with me. English words do not end with I. All right, one more time. English words do not end with I. So even if there's an I sound or at the end of a word, we know it's not going to be I. Also, we would never have this at the end of a word because what letter's at the end? Right, it's I, and English words do not end with I. All right, so one more time, let's say the name of this phonogram. It's A, two letter A that we do not use at the end of English words. And if I said, why not, you would say, English words do not end with I. Excellent work. All right, so to write my A, two letter A that we do not use at the end of English words, I'm going to leave a clock space first, then I'll write my first letter, and close but not touching my second letter. Underline it, A, two letter A that we do not use at the end of English words. Now it's your turn. Get ready to write and write A, two letter A that we do not use at the end of English words. When you're finished, put your pencil down. All right, and let's check. Does yours look like mine? If so, great. If not, pause the video and make it look like mine. All right, write another A, two letter A that we do not use at the end of English words. Saying the sound while you write it. All right, good job. One more. Say the sound, say it while you write it, and we'll say the whole name. A, two letter A that we do not use at the end of English words. Right. And if you said that we didn't use something at the end of English words, and I said why not, what would you say? Good. English words do not end with I. Excellent work, class. So These two are a pair we can see, right? They have the same sound. They both have two letters. The first is the same. The last one is different because this one can't be at the end of English words. Right? So if we had it at the end of a word, we would need to use this A, two-letter A, instead. All right, nice work.